All right, folks, this is Sultan. I know a lot of you are sad and probably depressed, maybe even shocked at the election of New York's first Muslim mayor, Zohran Mamdani. First of all, relax. He's just a mayor. I know New York is America's most important city. It's America's financial capital, also one of the financial capitals of the world, but still, he's just a mayor, not president. But let me address a more important question now. A lot of you have been wondering, I've been wondering for a long time, who is this Zohran Mamdani guy? Is he an Islamist pretending to be a Marxist, socialist, communist to fool the woke left? Because he has to do it because New York is one of the most progressive cities in the world. I, by the way, hate this term progressive. I don't think these guys are progressives. These guys are actually digressives. How can you fight for hundreds of years to get rid of slavery, racism, fight for women's rights, only to hug the Islamists who support all of those things? So that's not progress, but they like to call themselves progressives. Anyway, New York is one of the most progressive cities in the world. So is he fooling them? Is he fooling the woke? Or he is a socialist pretending to be a really devout or really touchy about his Muslim identity to fool the Muslims. Or there's a third option too. But first, I am really excited to share something special with you. Artsa has just launched their brand new Christmas box called Nativity Night. And honestly, it's their most stunning one yet. Every year, the Christmas box sells out faster and faster. And this time, they're already almost gone. Now, I know some of you might say, Harris, you're an atheist. Why are you talking about a Christmas box? Well, first of all, I celebrate Christmas every year, and I've been doing it for many years. But for me, this isn't about religion. It's about supporting Israel and celebrating its incredible culture, craftsmanship, and history. Every single item inside your Artsa box is handmade by local Israeli artisans and small family businesses. So when you get one, you're not just buying gifts, you're directly supporting real people in Israel, especially in times when they need it most. Inside, you'll find a beautifully hand-painted ceramic plate depicting the nativity scene, delicious Israeli foods and spices, a hand-carved olive wood ornament from Bethlehem, and other handcrafted pieces that showcase the beauty and heritage of the region. It's less about belief and more about connection, bringing a piece of the Holy Land, the birthplace of so much of our civilization, Jesus Christ, right into your home. They are only selling this box for a few more days and it's almost sold out. And the best part, you now get 15% off with the code Sultan. So, if you love Israel like I do, or you know someone who does like I do, this is a perfect, meaningful gift to celebrate the season and share the beauty of the Holy Land. Go to artsabox.com/Sultan and grab yours before they're gone. Again, that's artsabox.com/Sultan. And don't forget to use code Sultan for 15% off your Christmas box. Now, let's get to Mamdani. He's just an actor playing the character of his life because he once wanted to be a rap artist.
Taxi, babazungu se matatu. See me driving this car while I'm wearing my sapato. You worry about yourself, you don't worry about what I do.
Yeah, that didn't go down too well, and we can see why. Then he tried some acting, which makes sense because his mother is an Oscar-winning filmmaker. He learned to mimic various accents, as any actor would.
Because I think that New Yorkers, more than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there are different parts of my life.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
In a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way. Here in New York City, this is how I speak, this is how I am.
Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan?
And look, I'm not even holding that against him because that's what actors do. It's a skill. It's an acquired skill. And it requires a lot of hard work, effort, and mastery. It's a performance. And he's performing right now. He is the living embodiment of fake it till you make it. I think I have a pretty good understanding of his mind. How? Because I don't know if you know, I also wanted to be an actor. I went to an acting school for about 4 years. I also learned various accents. I even ran for Senate here in Australia. But that's where the similarities end. Because very early on in my political career, I realized that if you're a lousy politician, then you just lie outrightly. But if you're a clever politician, then you have to master the art of spin doctoring. You have to be deceptive. You don't give a clear answer. You know damn well that you're leading the other person astray, but you would still say it because the truth is either inconvenient or is going to go against you. The only time you are 100% honest is when it actually suits you. So I could also put on a character of a really moral, virtuous politician, but if I didn't believe in it, then I would be lying. I'll give you an example. Because I ran for Senate on the platform of the Secular Party of Australia, which was a very lefty, woke political party. At that time, I didn't understand wokeism as much. They were very heavy on climate control. So I was just following my own common sense. And I was like, you know what? We have to do it in an orderly fashion. We shouldn't just ruin our economy going head first in that. So I got told off by the members of my own party. I could have lied. I could have become deceptive. I could have said things that I didn't believe in, but what people wanted to hear. So I realized politics is not my cup of tea. I like my way of life. I don't have to lie. I could be wrong about many things, but I can be whoever I am. So that's why I walked away from politics. It wasn't something that I could live with. Politics was not worth selling my conscience. You know what? You sleep like a baby when you know that you're not lying to anyone. I sleep like a baby every time my head hits the pillow. But Mamdani is not that guy. I'll tell you what, he's got charisma. He's played this game perfectly well. You can't take that away from him. Why? Because, as I said, he's a very good performer. Now, let me show you a few paradoxes about Zohran Mamdani, which actually make it pretty difficult to figure out who he really is. So, is he an Islamist pretending to be a socialist to fool the woke left? Have a look at what America's favorite Islamist, Linda Sarsour, has to say.
Right now, I'm a little more quiet because I'm on the quiet side of this race, but I'm going to tell you that once November 4th comes around, I will tell the story. The story is not just, that it's random that Zohran ascended to this place. It is our Muslim American communities. And I'll also say that it's Muslim money. The PACs that have supported Zohran, or a particular PAC that has supported Zohran, is probably over 80% of Muslim American donors in this country, high net donors, grassroots donors. And I want to make the point that the Unity and Justice Fund PAC, which is the CARE Super PAC, was the largest institutional donor to the pro-Zohran PAC in New York.
So here's Linda Sarsour is saying that Muslims and Muslim organizations have played a key role in the success of Zohran Mamdani. Those of you who don't know, Zohran Mamdani comes from a Shia background. Shias only make up about 10% of the Muslim population. And the vast majority of Sunni Muslims, which is about 90% of the Muslim population, they don't even consider Shias as real Muslims. Sure, they haven't officially outcasted them, but they don't get along well. I don't need to tell you what happened in Iraq, what happens between Saudi Arabia and Iran. They hate each other. So for American Islamists or Muslim organizations like the Muslim Brotherhood or CARE to prop up this guy, what's going on here? That doesn't make any sense. There could be two possibilities. These Muslim organizations, they're thinking that, okay, we're going to use a very liberal looking, very charismatic, very sharp speaking Mamdani has got the tools to fool the woke left, okay? Let's just get it out of the way. You and I may not like him, but he's got something about him that he rose so quickly within 1 year. A year ago, nobody knew who he was. Within a year, he ran his campaign so perfectly that he's now the mayor of one of the most, if not the most known city in the world. That's commendable. So even Sunni Islamist organizations like the Muslim Brotherhood or CARE, even they could not ignore that. And they had to get in the party. They had to use him. Mehdi Hassan is also a Shia, by the way. That's why Mehdi Hassan is jumping up and down for Mamdani. So they're thinking, okay, we're going to use him now, but later down the track, we're going to use the right kind of a Muslim, our kind of a Muslim, to be the mayor of New York or a politician of some sort. Now, Mamdani is no fool either. Considering that he's actually a Marxist and a very liberal Muslim who just happens to love the Holy Five. Yeah, he made a rap song saying that he loved the Holy Five, which were 5 terrorists. But again, you can't really use that as evidence of him being an Islamist against them because the woke left loves those terrorists. So he could be just a genuine socialist Marxist, okay? He calls himself a Democrat socialist, but it's an oxymoron. I'll talk about it a bit later. So Mamdani is thinking that, okay, you know what? I'm going to get all the support I can right now, even from these Sunni hardcore Muslims. I'm going to play my Muslim card. I'm going to play my brown card. I'm going to play my woke Marxist card. The only card I'm not going to play to appease the woke left and to appease the Islamists and the Muslims is a true blue American, because you have to find a villain in your story as well. And the villain is you, ordinary Americans, Americans who are standing up for American values. Anyone from any part of the world can come to America, the land of opportunities. You can rise to the very top. If you came to America as a penniless immigrant, you can be a billionaire. Such is the beauty of America. And Americans love success, regardless of your skin color. Doesn't matter. But you have to respect America. You have to respect American history and traditions, its own unique history. I'm fascinated by America. Why wouldn't I be? So in his eyes, the conservative Americans, the Americans who stand up for traditional American values, are the villains. They're the bad guys. That's it. So he's got his bases covered. That's why he's going to the Jews. I want to know who these Jewish people are who love this guy. Funnily enough, in his victory speech, he mentioned every single ethnic group that he appeased, but he conveniently forgot to say thank you to the Jewish people and the white community of New York.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point.
Because he knows the white community that is supporting him, they have this fantasy of self-loathing. They hate themselves. They're these kind of people. Let me show you. I'm sure you've seen these videos. Look at this. Look at this.
This is the Lord's work right here, man. This is the Lord's work right here. And this is a good...
This is a mental sickness. Look at this, another one.
I'm privileged too. Thank you.
I'm privileged. That's why I'm going to kiss your shoe.
To do this. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
So these are the lefties of New York who voted for Zohran Mamdani. They have no self-respect or dignity. It's a weird fantasy of these people. So Mamdani has very cleverly run his campaign, and he's been successful. Because as I said, if I was to run for Senate in Australia, what would I do? I know my views are more aligned with the conservative side, but if I was Mamdani and if I was targeting the non-native vote or the non-white vote, then what would I do? I would obviously criticize the conservative side. I would appease the ethnic groups. I would accuse Australia of being a racist country, despite the fact that this country has given me everything. But don't worry about that. These people are not honest. And I would appeal to the woke lefty segment of Australia, because I know they don't want anything. They actually want me to insult them, because as I said, they have a self-deprecating fetish. They want brown people, they want non-white people to insult them and their culture. They get off on that. It's a weird subset of our culture. Who would have thought 30, 40 years ago that there will be a group within the mainstream Western community that would love their history, culture, identity to be insulted, Who would have thought? But anyway, that's how things turned out to be. So if I was Zohran Mamdani, I would have run his campaign exactly how he did it. So he ran his campaign perfectly well. He insulted the mainstream white community. He appeased every other ethnic group in New York. And he gave typical populist, woke talking points like free this, free that, everything. Look, they accuse the conservative side of propagating populist slogans, but this is the ultimate populist slogan, that you'll have everything for free. Housing, free. We're going to freeze the rent. Are you going to freeze the rent? What if I'm a landlord? I've got mortgage as well. Are you going to freeze the interest rates as well? No, you can't. Last month, only 25,000 New Yorkers watched my video, so that only makes up 1% of my viewership. So I don't mean to offend you, but maybe this had to happen. I never paid any attention to the Marxist 2.0. This is what they like to call themselves, socialist Democrats. Because up until now, every time I heard a Marxist or a socialist, I just laughed them out of the room. You guys had your go. You guys gave the world Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot. You're never going to come back to power. I underestimated them because these guys are highly radicalized. I've gone into Twitter spaces. I've listened to some of these people. The Gen Z especially, they're very radical and dogmatic with the socialism. And they're coming. And I am sure now that New York is not going to be the last city that's going to fall to these Marxists. Our young generation is being radicalized to the T with Marxism. I think Melbourne will be the first city that's going to fall to a Marxist premier. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. We cannot underestimate these people. And I don't even blame them because cultures change because of circumstances. Wealth inequality is causing this radicalization. I can see that it's harder for young people to buy a house today than it was when I bought my house. So of course, this is going to radicalize people. People are thinking that maybe, rich people are always going to remain rich and the wealth gap is increasing. So ideas like we'll give you free housing, free food, everything free. These populist slogans are very popular with young people. So it's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. So assuming Mamdani is a true blue Marxist who has a soft spot for the Muslim identity because that's what he grew up as. But I can tell you by any stretch of imagination, he does not behave like a Muslim. So there's no Sharia coming. Okay. So the question is Mamdani going to be successful in distancing himself from the Muslims and Islamist organizations that have propped him up? Or they will be able to replace him with the right kind of a Muslim when the time comes? I think only time will tell. But if history is anything to go by, in a showdown between the Marxists and the Islamists, it's always the Islamists who come out on top.
As an Iranian woman, I stand before you today with a warning. We saw what happened when our king was deposed and a republic was declared, ruled by the ideology of Islamism.
It's extraordinary how one man can command such adoration.
We saw this revolution, mosque as a movement for change, destroyed our liberty and freedom.
The imposition of Islamic law here has started with an order to women to cover their heads in government offices. Many are furious. Only a minority in Tehran already follow the instruction. Several of the women who stood their ground with considerable courage were stabbed as they chanted slogans for equal rights.
Worst of all, for those of us who were lucky enough to escape, we now see the same thing happening in the West.
Progressivism is a two-faced God, serving the cynical by ensnaring the gullible.
We lost our monarchy under slogans that read, "Out with the old, in with the new."
But now, the people of Iran suffer under one of the most backward and austere regimes in the modern world.
Without warning, the IRGC opened fire on the protesters. In this one incident alone, the regime murdered as many as 100 Iranians and possibly more.
We must remain vigilant against the resurgence of alliance between the red and the black, socialism and Islamism.
If these shadows of tyranny reach the Western world, there will be nowhere left to run to.
I ask you to keep the memory of Iran in your hearts.
In the next 25 years, according to other people, will be among the 5 most prosperous countries of the world.
The Iran which was and will be again one day our homeland.
Javi Shah.
God save the Shah.
And that's saying something, because Marxists, they're pretty dogmatic, pretty radical, pretty violent people too. Look what they gave to the world. Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao, even those people have had a hard time defeating the Islamists. It's no accident that despite reaching out to many activists in the Muslim world, Marxists or communists never succeeded in toppling a traditional Muslim government. It just never happened, because Islamists do not take any prisoners. They are even more brutal and violent and radical in their approach than the Marxists, than the communists. But in the meantime, as I said, Mamdani is playing a character of his life. He's been able to fool everyone, and he's got what, I don't know however long the mayor's tenure lasts. He's the mayor of New York for the next 4 or 5 years. I was watching some reports. A lot of New York businesses have already started moving to Florida and Texas. And I think it's going to be a slow, sad demise of New York. But as I said, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that with any glee, but this had to happen. Sorry, New Yorkers. This had to happen. This will serve as a valuable lesson for the rest of our cities. Do not go down the way of these Marxist socialists, whatever they call themselves. Even if they start off from the position of Democrat socialists, their extreme end is always going to be communism. I have already seen a lot of Marxists not celebrating Mamdani's win. They're saying that he's going to fail because you cannot build a true socialist utopia without a revolution. You cannot destroy the capitalist system from within. You have to overthrow the capitalist system through a revolution. That's what they believe in. And I don't think we're going to let that happen. It's not going to happen. Look at Hassan Piker. His mask instantly fell. Check this out. Listen to Hassan Piker. Look at these communists. He was sad that America defeated communism.
What do you think it means that this guy ran as a socialist and anti-communism didn't work to stop him? That's big.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. I say bring back McCarthyism. Desperate times call for desperate measures. They are pushing our society towards violence. They're pushing it. And look, I'm sorry, I don't know. I think Americans believe that their democracy, their free speech can withstand communism. So we don't have to take away their free speech. Like you defeated communism by not taking away the free speech of the communists in the 70s and the 80s during the peak of the Cold War. I know you believe that, but it's a very different world now. We haven't found a way to destroy echo chambers, regardless of whichever echo chamber you're in. No matter how stupid you are, no matter how dumb you are, once people become a part of an echo chamber, it's very hard for them to get out of that. Look at these people. Even in the 60s and the 70s, yes, Ronald Reagan advocated for free speech for the communists as well, because he believed that we can fight the communists without taking their free speech away. Yes, he said that, but there was no social media. There was still a bias against the communists in the popular culture of America of the 60s and the 70s. Communists were still seen as some heathens, some evil atheists. At that time, in order for you to be a communist, you had to read a lot of books. You had to attend a lot of organizations, which was difficult. But these days, it's very easy to become radicalized with Marxist or communist ideologies. All you have to do is start following some communists like Hassan Piker. It's very easy. And there is no way, we haven't found a way to dismantle echo chambers. So either we take away their free speech. I know a lot of Americans look at it and they squirm and they wince and they're like, I don't think we can do it. Look, it's a new age. We need new laws. We need new values. People who want to dismantle your state, we need to go nuclear on them. We have to. I'm not saying that take away the free speech of the Democrats or of the Republicans or people who want to improve your country from within, okay? But people who challenge the very foundations of your country, for example, the Islamists, the jihadis, or the communists who want to overthrow the system, who want to overthrow the state, no free speech for you. If you don't do it, then eventually you're going to have violence. They will pave the road to civil war. That's going to happen. And look, this is exactly what's happening in the UK. By the time something goes really bad in America, something really bad would have already happened in the UK. And I think a lot of Western countries will wake up when there is a civil war in the United Kingdom. Because the UK is going through this dilemma. Should we take away the free speech of the Islamists or should we not? I say you should. Because if you don't, then you are encouraging these people to carry on with their activities. They openly say that they're going to have Sharia in the UK. They're actively working towards it. The UK government is so stupid that they're actually paying the mosques. And in those mosques, they are having fighting boot camps, hand-to-hand combat boot camps. The UK taxpayer is paying the mosques to prepare an army against the ordinary British.
You need to be earning halal rizq, and you need to be in that gym, doing that MMA, doing that boxing, lifting those weights, strengthening yourselves up, so that if anyone comes into your face, remember, Muslims are not pacifists. If somebody comes into your face, you knock his teeth out. That's my message to you.
I don't claim to have solutions to these complex problems, but I can tell you that things are seriously broken. You have to do something about it because the problem is not going to go away. I'll end this video on this note that we are going to lose a few more cities to Marxist politicians. That's going to happen. They're going to fail because communism, socialism, it just doesn't work. We're going to have a lot of brain drain from New York and things are going to go from bad to worse in New York. Nothing's going to be free because, as I say, the problem with socialism is they eventually run out of other people's money. That's going to happen very quickly. So socialism is not going to succeed, but they're not going to go away. They're not going to admit that, oh, we were wrong. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, these powerful, evil capitalists, they didn't let us succeed. So we need a revolution. We need a bloody revolution. That's what they're going to say. And we're going to allow them to say that because they have free speech, yeah? So they're going to talk about revolution. They're going to prepare their armies. They're going to radicalize our youth even more. And eventually we're going to have a civil war. That's going to happen. I'm telling you, the only solution to stopping that is take away the free speech rights. If you talk about dismantling the very foundation or the founding values of our country, then we will put you in jail for a very long time. We have to go towards that. Or maybe I'm just overreacting because AI is going to destroy us in a few years anyway. So why are we worried about the Islamists, the communists? It's the robots who are coming. I don't know. But well done, Mamdani. He played it really well. He did well. He did well.